What is happening, my good people? It's your mentor, Rich Define Limited, and I'm back with another one once again. So, guys, I know it's been a while since I've actually dropped something, but I'm back again with a different style. So, I'll be focusing on your gold, US 30, and most importantly, your synthetics. I can see that a lot of people are now getting introduced to synthetics. So, I'll be dropping my strategy when it comes to synthetics, the pattern that I use, and my strategy overall. So we're just gonna start with the gold. So what I like to do, I like to start on the 4 hour. So I look at the overall trend, what has been happening, right? So what I do, I'll start with this. I'll start by marking the high. So this will be my supply zone. And then here, this will be my demand zone. So obviously it would have been this, but it got violated, right? So I'm just gonna write demand zone on this one. So you guys get how I actually look at the market and approach the market. So this is my demand zone. So as soon as I write demand here, I'm gonna write the supply zone below. And then here it's gonna be the supply zone. Right. So I need you to look at the supply as like the roof in the house, right? And then you look at the demand zone as your floor. So always remember demand is your floor, supply is your roof. Right? That's the most simplest way you can remember it. Right. So on the 4 hour, we already marked our supply and demand zone. So then we'll just jot down to the 1 hour. Okay, now it's more precise. I can see what's actually happening in my current price, right? So what I like to do, I like to draw my resistance zone. So I know that, okay, this was the current high that happened in gold, right? So this was my current high. So I just name it resistance zone. Resistance zone. That's top. Let me just make it 1 px, okay? And then also draw my supports, right? So remember on the 4 hour, it's like the bigger picture. So what I'm actually looking at. So I need to get the direction and momentum of the trend. And as I scale down, that's where now I'm able to see everything more clear. So I'm looking to take those trades with at least minimum drawdown, right? Hence why we do the top-down analysis, right? So if this is my resistance zone, this is my support zone. So looking at this, I'm gonna go down to my 30 minutes. Just make it simple, guys. There's no need for you to make trading very difficult, right? This was the high that happened on Friday, and then this was the current low. And remember what I said, I'm trying to get the most accurate entry. Right? So I know that's my resistance zone, right? This one is my resistance zone. So it's already marked. This is my support zone. So when I go down with the time frames, I get more supply and resistance zone, but I need to always remember that the demand and the supply are always in place. Whatever supports and demand that I do on the lower time frame, it's just more confirmation for me to get that accurate entry. Right? So I'm just gonna also just draw my trend lines to understand what's actually happening. So here I could have seen this would have been my first touch, the second touch, and that breakout, right? Now I would look at this as a retest of this breakout, right? Because here would have initially had a support zone which needed to be tested, right? So let's say this would have been the first touch, came back, it broke, and then this would be like obviously a retest. So what would I possibly be looking for? Let's just remove this. Hold on, let me just look at something. Even this one got broken. Okay, that's fine. So as we're looking at this, I'm gonna try and draw my trend line from this point going up. So why am I drawing my trend line from that point going up, right? So from my support zone, this would have been my first touch. The second touch happened. That touch would have been confirmation that no man, we're actually going up, right? So from this point, I'll obviously be looking for anything from this point, a signal to say, are we going up or are we gonna come back down? So obviously, this was a breakout, that first touch retest went up a little bit, then it's also on this support zone. So let's get down to the 15 minutes. I'm just gonna end by the 15 minutes to understand the trend. Right. I'm gonna clone it. Right. So now we understand the trend. Yeah. We're in an uptrending market, we're now changing direction from what I'm seeing, right? So they've been my high, higher low, high, higher high. Then now it's looking to what get that higher low by the confirmation of this double top, double bottom. My apologies. Whatever happens here will be my confirmation on whether we are continuing going up or we're initially still continuing going down. So how would I enter this market? I'll obviously wait for the market to get to this point. Do something like this to confirm that no, we're actually moving to the top side. Let me just remove these trend, right? Because usually gold doesn't really respect those trend lines, but it's just for you to have that confirmation to say, okay, I already have a trend in place, what I'm actually looking for. So my stop would be just below this low, obviously be targeting from this high right here, jot down here. Yeah, so I am saying that I would be looking for it to obviously break this resistance zone, right? As you guys can see, I am looking for it to break this resistance zone towards what's this other resistance zone, right? So yeah, that's basically what I'm looking for when it comes to your gold. As I said, guys, from here, from that point going down was obviously in a downtrending market, but because we want to catch the trade very early, we are gonna be looking for those again those buying opportunities when it comes to your gold. If you go to a higher time frame, you'll actually see that it's actually preparing to turn. Right? So from this point, I'll definitely be waiting for it to what print whatever pattern, whatever candlestick formation, whatever candlestick that I can see, hold a note, my confirmation. This is where I'll be looking for my buying opportunities. I'd say this would be my first TP, second TP, and then this third TP. So whenever it gets to your second TP, make sure that you just protect your position. So you move king, you move your yeah, your stop loss, yeah, above your entries. So I would say that when you enter this zone, make sure that your stop loss is just below this previous low. It's always, guys, follow your trading plan. If it happens that the market comes back, touches your stop loss, like it's shy. You understand? Don't now try and adjust or what if. No, your trading plan says that if it comes within this point, do not try and extend, do not try to do whatever you think you'll do. Just make sure that you trade with discipline. So as I said, as soon as it gets to this point, I'll obviously be looking for my first touch, my first TP, which is here, second TP, and then my third TP. Because if you look closely here, it broke the trend line. Understand? So it didn't respect the trend line. So a lot of people would have said that as soon as it got to this zone, they'll be looking for those selling opportunities towards the downside. But instead, the market shot up, came back for the retest of this zone, and then now I would definitely be looking for those buying opportunities. And yeah, I'd say that's it when it comes to my analysis on gold. What do you think? I also, hmm? You also seeing the same thing, yeah. Especially from the 15 minutes, because the closer the okay, I can't go to the 5 minutes because it's gonna show exact gain. It's gonna be too, yeah, the price action. So we don't want too much noise. We want a chart where it's clean and we're able to see whatever's going on. And obviously, guys, to have an influence on your trading, make sure that you look at your fundamentals, your sentimentals, make sure that you look at all of those things before you just trade, right? So obviously, you've confirmed all of these through technical analysis. Now it's for you to look at the news, what's happening around the world, how's the dollar going, how's the price of gold with the war that's going on, what's happening to gold. So you need to like look at the backbone of trading, which is your fundamentals. Your technicals, they're just the direction to say certain things are gonna happen like this. But make sure that you look at also your fundamentals and understand the fundamental of gold, of what's happening with when you trade. You see. So that's it for my uh gold analysis. Maybe we can go to US 30. Let's go to US 30. US 30, I'm just gonna start on my 30 minutes. Not even gonna waste time. Just gonna start on my 30 minutes. Let me just do this to see the overall trend on my daily. So looking at,
Oh, that's an option. You don't even need
yeah,
to.
you don't even need to. So now I need you guys to understand something when it comes to US 30. US 30 moves in patterns, right? So let me show you something very simple. No. So this is your US 30. This was the current, the high, the low, and then it broke out, created this. So how do we calculate when the next move is gonna happen, right? So from this point here, going here, should be the same length as here going there, right? Or similar, as you guys can see. From this point, from here to here, should give you the same. So also from here to here, that's the overall TP. So your TP should be here when you look for those entries. Always with US 30, it moves in patterns. Every time it creates, let's say, a liquidity number, it needs to always fill that liquidity number. So we know, obviously, right now that we're in an uptrending market, right? And the demand just got tapped. And same here. Also, the demand got tapped. As soon as it got tapped, it moved up away from this. So look at these lines as like a hot stove. So whenever it comes back to these lines, it always retracts. You understand? Same here. I'm looking for the same thing to happen that happened here, even if it passes a little bit going down, maybe just like this, like a weak rejection, but it's always gonna push up. So as soon as you enter from this point, you are looking for those buying opportunities towards your 54,000, right? So that's like the overall direction looking at buys. But now we need to scale lower and actually find like the proper game
Entry points.
entry point. Okay, no, because there's no use in like entering on your monthly. Understand? Because it might still go down, might still go up. You won't understand. So it's very important that you just look at the overall direction to understand what's actually happening before you jump in the trade. You can always test this out. If you don't believe that it moves in liquidity, then I can't help you with that. The point from here to here has been covered, from here to here has been covered. So we're now looking from here to here to be covered. So now let's go down to our 1 hour time frame. Just wants us to look at price like properly when it comes to US 30. So what am I seeing here? So as I said, guys, this is my zone, my buy zone. So I'm looking to execute more on this zone. So from here, I'm just gonna draw my lines of liquidity. So lines where the market touches and reverses. The reason I'm drawing it on the 1 hour, it must be more precise. So whenever it touches that zone, I should be looking for a reaction. I should be looking for a reaction for my entry points. So meaning that if I were to enter a buy here and the market continues to go up, these are also my entry points. You understand? These are also my entry points. Just lock it in. And this would have also been an entry point, right? Because it was a previous low. It then got violated. So don't overcomplicate, man. Most important thing is not to overcomplicate.
Keep it simple.
Keep it simple so that you understand. It's very like it's simple. Just a lot of you people wanna complicate things just because you wanna seem as if you know what you're doing. Yeah, don't be too technical. Trade what you see, not what you think. That's very, very important. So before I even look for, I'm gonna go to my 30 minutes. Before I even look for an entry, I always confirm with patterns. Right? Always confirm with patterns. Oh, apologies, guys. Might be a bit tired. Okay. So it gave us this week. This week was covered with this. Okay, got covered now. What I suppose a lot of people have been looking for those buys, but stop hunts happened. So from this point, you can see that stop hunts happened. So not a lot of people, a lot of people were liquidated within this point, right? So I can say that as soon as the market comes back within this point, uh, within this point. So I would look at this as a fake out, right? I'd be looking for those buying opportunities towards this zone. But overall, I am going up. So I'm just gonna make it by 44900 just to be safe. Yeah. So this is what I would initially be looking for when it comes to my US data. I'll be looking for those buying opportunities. But then again, it's very important for me to always confirm with fundamentals as to whether I'm still on the good side or I'm not on the good side. So every time you trade, every single day, just reset your charts, reanalyze, and then see the bigger picture and always trade what you see, not what you think. You understand? So from this point, as soon as it gives me a confirmation that no, I'm about to turn, it's an entry. But this is definitely my entry point towards the top side. Right? But as I said, when we were looking at the weekly, my overall TP is this zone right here. I'd say 54,000 before it comes back down. So I need you guys to be very mindful when you guys are trading your US30 and your gold. Definitely looking for both buys within these two the indices and the commodity. So guys, make sure that you stay tuned. Make sure that you like, comment, subscribe, share to your friends. Comment, share, do whatever you need to do, guys. And text me if you're interested in mentorship. Text me on 068 243 5790. This is where I teach you the basics of Forex, how to get started, my strategies, how I look at the market from my point of view, and trading secrets that I have. So make sure that you text me on 068 243 5790. Let's chop it up, baby. Danko.
Woo, woo.
Yeah.